News, Associated Press.
Holy moly.
Yeah. You need to make a point. So what's your comment? Let's give it a comment. What do you think about it? We're looking for driver comment.
About what?
The baby thing. No names, please.
Yeah, no, it's part of the job.
Yeah.
It's part of the job. I mean, I listen to the drivers cry just as much as some babies on the bus all day long. You don't see me kicking them off my bus.
You should have said that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, right. No,
I don't agree with you, Mel. She shouldn't have kicked them off.
Of course not. Although the last bunch of drivers we had here were saying, well, let's take a screaming child down to the newsroom and see how they respond. And I said, well, they're not public transit though.
Right, yeah.
I heard it in all the news around Santa Cruz.
Yeah, there was out on TV Highway too.
They send a thing, usually the...
Yeah, but they're also at TV Highway.
Oh, is it?
Out on TV Highway looking for people to talk to them. It's turned into a whole big feeding frenzy, man.
Oh, you bet one.
I don't know what it is that turned it into this feeding frenzy, but it's turned into a crazy feeding frenzy. I don't understand. It's really not news. You know that, right? It's not news.
It's not, yeah.
It's got no news value because nobody got hurt. She got home. All the riders got home. But you know, since some of us know the particular woman.
See, this one says bus rider. Okay, now remember how they stick together?
It's news and, yeah.
You know how they stick together?
Yeah, the bus riders stick together.
Somebody's running across the street, they want you to stop and stick together.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah.
But one girl's gone for her master's or her childhood education at Portland State.
Right.
I thought, man, that's the wrong person to have on the bus.
That's what?
The wrong person to have on the bus was screaming out.
Oh, well, as we all know, this particular driver is not exactly your...
Right, well, and I think that's part of the feeding frenzy. She's been out on that thing long enough with a couple other people that have treated people
badly
for years.
Exactly. And so this is what you get.
You know, the shark.
That's what I said.
In the water.
I mean, you treat people bad, and you make a mistake, they're going to be all over you because they are resentful of the treatment they've gotten. And
I would have just.
I don't blame them.
There's a part of me that's isn't surprised that they didn't keep her off the run tonight.
She did go. She showed up to work, but she was put on administrative leave.
That's good because if she goes out there.
I know, man. They're gonna gun her.
Yeah.
Yes. And what's for dinner today? Here's our gourmet. What is it today?
Something very special.
What is it?
It is chicken tomatillo.
Chicken tomatillo. I've never even heard of that one.
It's pureed tomatillos.
What is that type of noodle? Or what's a tomatillo?
A tomatillo is
green tomato.
It's like a little green tomato.
Oh, you know that? How do you know that?
And speaking of green, it's been mixed with a green tomato relish.
Don't you like it? Listen to his voice as he describes this. It's like you should be on the Food Channel or the.
I like this man.
Yeah. He's got.
I've said before, this is not fat. This is experience.
Yeah, he's got that voice. Yeah, we're all familiar with commenting on that. When you describe the food, it's like we're listening to the Chef Channel or something. It's like you should have been in broadcasting for that.
I did 15 years in restaurants, and after I took a year to recover from that, I moved into this.
Well, why? Because of the money and the benefits, obviously.
No. Have you ever worked for chefs?
Sure.
Actually, I have. They're brutal.
Yes.
Where'd you work?
Oh.
Here in Portland?
Where you at?
There was a restaurant in Sacramento called Fresh Choice, very similar to Sweet Tomatoes.
Whoever was complaining,
I worked
the
there.
driver said if you don't like it, you can get
I worked
Yeah, well, yeah.
Let's forget it.
a catering business in Sacramento also.
Yeah,
I did 8 years at St. Vincent's Hospital in the main kitchen, worked up to the storekeeper. That was a brutal position.
Sure.
But yeah, when you're reporting to 4 managers, 12 chefs.
Steve's going. Bye, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Okay, give us your comments on the baby situation.
Which baby situation?
You don't know about it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that one. You might. It's on all the news channels. You haven't been watching the news. Oh, you're working here, you know, long hours and off shifts. But it's unanimous. Where's Mark? Where's Mark? Mar's not here today? Or is she hiding? Yeah.
I said multiple complaints. Wow. So
The whole bus complained.
it's not gonna be just one person there.
No.
The whole bus complained about the driver.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it
There was basically a revolution on the bus. You know, and like you say, they stick together. And if they get somebody they really don't like in their target, watch out, man. You know, her behavior was uncalled for, but I don't know, man. I don't understand the news value of it. That's what I don't understand.
They're gonna make it.
I don't know. I mean, why are they doing this? To make us look bad because of the contract and the unfair labor practice? But why do they do this? Why does this come up while there's labor issues? It's not news because nothing happened.
I don't think it should be in the news anyway.
No.
TV and all
Not if somebody was hurt or something, that might be one thing, you know, like the woman was off the bus and she got run over by a tractor trailer because and you know, that would be news. But actually, the way that I read, you know, I heard the dispatch call on that, and it sounded to me like she left on her own free will. She wasn't actually kicked off. Time to check.
Zero,
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I seen text message from it says that.
Okay,
there
this
was
is a-
Senator-
Yeah, they're also on TV Highway.
I had a similar situation where I had a partner, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. They had a little toddler,
Right?
and the kid was screaming to beat the bed.
Yeah.
Different in that it was not a baby. It was a small toddler. He was also running
was
around,
running back
jumping
and
on
forth.
seats, pulling on the bell,
Oh.
being a genuine little hooligan monster.
So how did
I gave them several warnings, and I finally pulled over and said, "Folks, I cannot continue driving with your kid running and yelling and screaming." So, here are the choices.
Yeah.
One, we will sit here until a supervisor shows up and escorts you off the bus. Or two, you can leave voluntarily.
Yeah. So
Those are
they
your two choices. That's what's going to happen.
Well,
It sounds like this particular driver let themselves go too far and got snappy, which has happened for me also. I've gotten snappy at people. You get on my bus with a nasty attitude, you're probably going to get a nasty attitude right back from me. And it's really easy to let something that escalate and get out of control. I do not think if the woman is making an earnest effort to keep the baby under control that the driver has much of a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
I really don't.
No, I
If
don't.
it is getting to the point where it's
Well-
becoming distracting for him, you go back there and say, "Ma'am, is there anything I can help you do?" Call the
They,
child.
they did do that actually.
Okay.
But that actually did happen. Yeah, no, but it is simply a matter of if it's dangerous to drive, pulling over, notifying dispatch, and waiting for a supervisor.
She should have just parked it.
Right, call for a supervisor. Let the supervisor come out. Supervisor will decide what to do.
Right.
But chances are the supervisor will take the mom and the baby in his supervisor vehicle and take them where they want to go. That's generally what they want.
If they have enough room with all the paper and crap they have to haul around.
When you make a decision on your own, then everybody's at you.
Yeah.
When a supervisor or dispatcher does it, then you're off the hook.
That's exactly right. You don't make that decision. You let them do it. You know.
You just park it and say it's too unsafe to drive.
Yeah.
You gotta do something
I
about
had a guy get on the bus once and he said, "Gets on with a stroller." I said, "Sir, I can't move the bus while the stroller's open." I had a stroller break loose on my bus once with a baby in the stroller. I will never,
You had that happen?
ever do that.
You actually had that happen.
Kid in a stroller goes rolling down the center of this aisle because Mama was standing up holding the stroller with her foot. Did not know this, so she could hold on herself and talk on her cell phone.
Oh.
Okay. Stroller goes rip-assing down the aisle like a torpedo heading right for my fare box. I can see it happening.
Really?
That kid was going to hit the stroller, was going to hit the fare box. That kid was going to smack their head on the eject forward and smack their head on. And at the last moment, someone reaches out. And I thought that person just saved my job as well as that kid. And I thought never again. But this guy gets on and goes, "Oh, it's broken."
What the wheelchair? I mean,
He says his stroller is broken. I can't hold it. It's broken.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir, I won't move with an open stroller on my bus. Well, I'm not leaving.
Okay.
Okay.
So you hit the thing. And
Verbal passenger.
what happened? How'd that get resolved?
We sat there. I got a call back from dispatch. And I said, this is what my situation is. And they said, okay, we'll call the supervisor. They come back on a few minutes later. Supervisor says, go ahead and roll.
Okay.
And I said back to them, my compliments to the supervisor, but I am not going to move this bus until the person has either folded up their stroller
Really?
or left.
Then what happened?
And she
So you
said,
actually refused to go?
I refused.
Wow.
Because that is against Trimet policy, as even a supervisor can't tell me that.
Really? So what happened? What?
She called back to the supervisor and said, well, he's busy, it's going to take him some time to come out there. I said, fine, I'll be here.
Really?
And eventually the guy got so pissed off and everybody else was giving him the 100-yard stare.
Yeah, so you have the other people.
And he was like, oh, fuck this, I'm getting out. And he got off.
Wow.
And I called dispatch back and said, the gentleman is left with his stroller.
That's an interesting story. You got any good stories for us? No.
No, other than about a month ago, a kid took off all his clothes on my bus.
What? What?
Yeah.
Some little kid?
No, he was
Pothead?
no,
No.
he was drunk. But
Drunk.
there was a whole bunch of girls in the back of the bus, driving the 57, going out Forest Grove, and this guy, I pick up this college kid, I guess 18, 19. And he's dressed in soccer shorts and shirt and everything. And he's kind of drunk, but nothing that you would stand out, right?
Yeah.
And he sits behind me, so I can't see him.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the girls, you know how they're all like a whole bunch of chickens and everything?
Yeah.
And they're, whoop, whoop, whoop. All of a sudden, there was dead silence. And I couldn't figure out what to do because I can't see him.
Yeah, yeah.
So I look up and I kind of look around in there, and he's butt naked.
They were giving him the Andy Kaufman
It
stare.
was like,
Really?
and what it was is, and he wasn't trying to be crude. He was just hot.
Really?
I said, dude, you gotta put your clothes on.
So
he put his clothes back on, and I called dispatch, and they said, well, make sure he keeps his clothes on. That's all they did about it. That's all they said.
Yeah, right.
What about you? Yeah, I'm gonna sit there and watch him, and I'll watch
But on
him.
the other hand, what are they going to do? You know,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just kind of like,
yeah, right.
he didn't do it to be sexual or crude. He
Well,
was a lot more drunk than I.
That's pretty outrageous, though.
Oh, he was. I meant.
I've never had anything like that happen.
Oh yeah, that happened like about a month
How many
ago.
people were on that bus when that happened?
Just the girl.
Oh.
Just the girls and a couple of. I think there was a couple of Hispanic older ladies.
Yeah.
They were so oblivious that
They weren't paying attention.
they didn't really pay much attention to it. Yeah.
I had a time,
That's
I
fascinating.
didn't see what happened, but I heard them relaying it to a friend. Doing a 19, had a couple little prostitutes get on my bus. Right? 13, 14, 15-year-olds that are trying to show off what hasn't even grown in yet.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is a phone call. Oh my God, Keisha, you won't believe what happened. No, she was arrested. Her parents are going and getting her. No, arrested on 82nd, waiting for the bus.
Oh, she's
They thought she was.
she thought she was being a prostitute.
The police came through. They were pulling a sweep on 82nd. They arrested her for solicitation.
Can you?
Really?
For prostitution. They took her downtown.
Wow.